Our next guest today lost her parents in a murder-suicide in 1993, and then 11 years later lost her brother to suicide in 2004. Fallon Farinacci is a Métis from the Red River who now dedicates her efforts to the cause of missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and two-spirited individuals, and also raises funds to promote Indigenous resilience. And Fallon, resilience, it's a big word for you. Out of tragedy has come strength for you. When you decided that you would start your fundraising efforts to promote resilience, this was on the occasion of your 38th birthday. Why was that significant to you?
My father passed away just before his 38th birthday, and my mother did not live to the age of 38, and neither did my older brother. So I would be the first person in my family to reach the age of 38. And so I thought, I'm going to celebrate this instead of being wrapped up in all the grief that it came regardless. However, I was able to pull in a whole lot of support and love around me at that time.
You were 9 years old when you lost your parents, so almost 30 years before you made this decision to focus on the positives and not the grief. Was there a lot of grief that held you back during those almost 30 years?
I don't think it really impacted me until later in life. Obviously, yes, I went through grieving and all the stages of grief at a young age, but that really all came to the surface again in 2017 when I testified for the National Inquiry for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls, Two-Spirited LGBTQIA plus people.
And that's the point where you decided that that was going to become part of your mission in life?
Yeah, once I found there were other family members out there, survivors, who had similar stories to mine, I felt a part of a community. For the longest time, it was just my story. It was simply what I had been handed. And so I just lived with it. And once I testified and I started to meet family members and hear stories of resilience, survival, and obviously trauma, I then decided that this was something I really wanted to dedicate my life to.
Fallon, looking at your overall cause, missing Indigenous women, still so many unfound, still so many murders unsolved, what still needs to be done?
A lot needs to be done. Unfortunately, this past summer, I lost someone who I knew, who I met. She went missing, and within a weekend's time, her body was found, and so she had been murdered. And in that same week, another young Indigenous woman had also gone missing. So it's still an ongoing issue, and I don't think people really realize it. So we have to continue to uplift Indigenous women's voices, have our stories told the way you're inviting me on here to share, and to really link arms and uplift one another. Because if non-Indigenous folks can do that and support the Indigenous community, then maybe we can come together and some change can happen.
When I look at your fundraising efforts, last year, 2021, your goal was to raise $3,800. I'm assuming that figure is related to the 38 in the title of your GoFundMe page. But you far surpassed that. Looking at it today, over $105,000 raised. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's a collaborative effort. That is not on me. That's community. That's people coming together that care, and I will continue to do just that. Especially in the next couple of months, I've thought of some more wonderful ideas to bring together some fundraising efforts.
Can you share any of those yet?
Not yet, but I will soon.
When you look at that total, how is that money being used to further the cause?
Both organizations have received all the funds to date, with the exception of the last couple of weeks. Funds continue to come in, people continue to donate. And so really both organizations, the idea is to uplift Indigenous women with the money that goes towards Abbey House. So however they see that they need the money. And then also with the St. Eustache local, they're using it to uplift Indigenous youth. Um, I forget who it was, but an elder recently said in a meeting that I was in, and it's often that we believe that these organizations need to be told, right? Like if they're getting the grants or whatnot from government, they need to be told where they should be putting these funds. And it just really sat with me because that was never anything that I did with either organization because they know what they need. That's the thing, right? So um, I trust that they are doing exactly what they need in order to make changes within their own organization.
Fallon, it's a pleasure to meet you today. Keep up the fight. Thank you so much for joining us today.